guys, it's Carlos and
Dice Beers.
Back in States.
Once again, and basically we're doing a video about on Ask the Trainer show. So these guys are going to be asking me a couple of questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer to the best of my ability, and I might ask them a couple of questions too to help us become our greatest version. So over to these guys.
Yeah, well, as again, thanks for having us again, Carlos. Much appreciated. We always enjoy these videos and get some good knowledge. But what I'm finding lately, I've been training now for what 5 or 6 years. Lifting heavy, progressive overload, do fasted cardio. I'm on the bulk now. I did do boxing previous towards this, and I find that my weak point's my chest. I've done, in my opinion, I've tried everything. And I think I know in that way what you answer. Everybody's obviously different and individual. For me, I think I'm quite kyphotic. My shoulders come forward.
Yeah.
How do I really engage my chest and get my chest to come out? I don't want to. It feels like my front shoulders are taking over. So what I really want to know is how can I get the most out of my chest when my shoulders and my triceps take over mostly?
Okay, now just before I answer that question correctly, I'll ask him a question. What do you mean get out? What do you mean?
I want to get the best size in it. I mean, it doesn't come out of all my body parts. It's my weakest, and that's what I want.
Sorry to interrupt. This is one of the misinterpretations of a lot of people who are trying to build chest. Okay, now what he's just said about coming out. A lot of people think obviously having a massive, great big chest, and sometimes you get people genetically gifted that have got, if you like, the thoracic area quite large, rather than obviously the shoulders. Now, if you look at this man now here, right, he's got quite a pretty decent balanced physique, really. He hasn't got, obviously, don't exaggerate.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got shoulders, he's got traps, he's got chest, right? But if his chest really came out, the way he's just trying to explain, if he slightly, if you like, basically imbalanced, which therefore would probably make his body look a bit way out of proportion. Now, what I would say, and this is a misconception that a lot of people have, if you look at any bodybuilder that diets to a very, say for instance, to go on stage, you've got this roundness, okay? Now that roundness is created through a lot of dieting, so you lose the body fat. Right? As you lose the body fat, you've got to see a lot more detail. Now, if you lost, I'm not saying he's well overweight, what I'm saying is if you lost, say, I don't know, 20% body fat as an example, right? Okay, you'd see they'd have a way around the chest, and the detail, so-called detail that he's looking for, which is the big sort of like pop out, pump, that would be there. But because obviously he's looking at from an off-season point of view, pop out, it doesn't work. It doesn't work with anyone. And if what you see volume, but volume once you take the top off, it's nothing. So, I'll give you an example. I'm actually going to post. I'm actually bulking up now. I'm actually getting probably overweight. I've got a bit of a belly as well going on. Basically because I'm actually doing these on purpose. I'm going to get quite big, so I'm 15 stone 2 now. And I'm going to get 16 stone, probably 7. And then I'm going to show you guys how quick I go from 16 stone to 13 stone in ripped. I'll show you how I actually do it myself. And all natural, but what you'll see my chest with 16 stone, and you'll probably see in the top I've got quite, from a natural point of view, I've got quite okay chest. I'm not saying I'm brilliant, but I've got okay chest. But when I diet, my chest looks absolutely amazing compared to when I was on off season.
Okay, so
the reason being is a lot of it is to do with the excess body fat you've got. Now the other thing as well, your chest is divided by 2 main areas, which is your pectoralis major, which is about there down, which then is attached to all your sternum area, okay? And then you've got from here to all the way up, which is your pectoralis minor. And that muscle is a slightly smaller muscle, of which is responsible, and it gets activated by anything that is inclined. Now, one of the things that really plays a big part is, you speak to anyone, right? I'm going to ask these guys a question. What builds muscle mass on your chest?
Muscle mass, I'd say.
6 to 8, right?
Yeah, 6 to 8. Everybody's different.
Yeah, but what? Name me 4 exercises that builds mass on the chest.
Incline press, flies, dips.
Mass. I'm on about mass. But they talked about incline press, right? Incline press only works on this small part. Only small part. The biggest part, so imagine like that's 70, that's 30. So if you want to build a big mass, you only work on a 70%.
It's got to be decline, isn't it?
No, it's flat. Flat bench press builds muscle mass, okay? Now the inclined bench press also builds muscle mass, but it builds muscle mass in a smaller area. It's like you having like a warehouse, is your pectoralis major, which is your chest, and you have a cupboard, which is your pectoralis minor. So which one would you work for? You work on a warehouse, which is your major area. Okay, so that's another thing, right? But what gets activated by that is is basically bench press flats, dumbbells flats, okay? Then heavy flies, which is compressed flies, flats as well. And then you're working on,
touching on them flies, and then what I'm struggling at is it feels like my shoulders are ripping out.
Yeah, you're talking about heavy flies. There's a lot of controversy.
How far do you go?
How much pressure you put in on your front.
This is another thing. Then this is another video.
Yeah,
This can link it to that. A lot of the guys that are trying to work with heavy weights, what happens is, so if you look at his shoulder, for instance, it's quite a good shoulder, really. You know, for his size, it's quite a good shoulder. Now, he will carry on working on it. Now, inside of his shoulder, there's obviously an amazing connection tissue, and there's cartilage, and there's rotator cuffs, there's all. Now, that doesn't mean he's inside of his articulation be very, very, very strong. And this is why a lot of times you say if you do a lot of flies and your muscle stabilizers, your muscle stabilizers and your actually muscle is a completely different thing. It's like having the best tire in your car, but the ball joint is knackered.
Okay,
You know, it doesn't matter what, you could be the best tire, but the ball joint's tight, the suspension is going to go. So you've got to realize that you've got this here, which is your muscle, but then inside you need to make sure you stabilize it. And that's not just by doing these little things. A lot of people, what is like, you got guys in the gym now doing all this. Everyone's doing this. A lot of these guys don't even know what they're doing, but they're all doing it. But they actually don't realize what they're actually bloody doing. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to understand, to muscle stabilize it, you need to actually understand what you're doing. You're doing with cables, you're doing with resistant bands, you're doing with weights, but you need to do it properly. Because a lot of people, I see it all the time, there's guys actually dancing now, you know, it's crazy. But that's the really good thing to do, which is stabilize your joints, increase your mass, and to answer the question there, you need to work on 70 first, 30 after, and work full range of motion, because I see loads of guys doing the right exercise. So I say to the guys, okay, build chest, bench press flats, flies flats, and incline and everything else. But then they're working through here. They're working, do you know what I mean? There's no full range of motion. You've got to work full range of motion. You've got to work, I always call it the 0 to 10. You've got to work between 0 to 10, not between 73. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise you absolutely, excuse my language, pissing against it.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, what I mean with the floors, and I don't know if you find that, is that is how obviously slight bend in your arms. Always imagine hugging a tree. That's the easiest way. I think you're hugging someone. But where I find is from there to there, it's fine. My shoulder feels fine. I know what you said about the ball joint and everything like that, and it feels like my chest. From there to there, it feels like my shoulder's going to rip out.
It will do, because obviously if you work.
Is it good to do that? No?
Let me just explain to you. And I was actually talking to a guy the other day. He's a physiotherapist, and I was working like. So if you've got a lockage in your trapezius areas, for instance, like so you trap. So if you turn around, if this area here, so if you've got a kyphotic sort of situation going on here, all these muscles are really tight. So when you're asking these muscles to actually contract when you do a fly, these muscles don't want to do that. These muscles have been there for years, trying to contract in a way, and now you're all of a sudden saying, right, I've got 50 kilograms on my arms, and I want to go the other way. They don't want to do it. And if you get if I grab an elastic band, pick up an elastic band, yeah? Pick it up, yeah? And I'll do that, what does it do? What does it create in between? Resistance. So the more I pull, the more resistance creates. Same thing with your muscles. The more you pull against the muscles, the more resistance it creates. So what it actually does, because it creates resistance, your muscles contract back. That's why it's very important to understand about anatomy and physiology, so you know if you pull a muscle, the muscle contracts. So the best way to do it is to actually allow the muscle to relax and then contract. Well, a lot of people, obviously, they get into the gym and they just lift. That's why you're getting injuries. Okay. So you got to answer the question. I know it's a bit of a long-winded sort of explanation. Really, the main focus is work on a major area to build your muscle. Then obviously, don't forget there's a lot of muscle there, obviously, underneath the fat you can't see. You really can't see. That's why sometimes you see guys on stage and you think, what the hell? Oh, he looked massive on stage, but we actually see next to each other, he's only 13 stone. Do you know what I mean? I'll give you examples. You can see, obviously I'm not going to say that I look like Mr. Olympia or anything like that, but all my posters that I've got around the gym, I mean, I was the lightest I've ever been, right? But now I'm 15 stone, but if you see the posters, I look a lot bigger than I do today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's smoking moves.
It's just, you know, it's crazy to think that, but it is, right? So there's a lot of detail there, but you probably never will, you know, when I say probably, you'll never see that detail if he doesn't diet rigorously. See that detail.
Yeah.
It's why you want to do that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's fair. Good question.
Cool.
Good answer.
Great.
I wanted to ask you on part of, can you bulk and still do, I want to say cardio, but I mean more sport specific, kind of speed training, like running. So like high intensity interval training. I know it's got anabolic kind of effects.
Yeah.
But is it going to affect a bulk Monday to Friday to do it every Saturday?
I see exactly what you mean. The other day, someone was asking me that. Yeah, like for instance, can you? The question is, can you do it? Yes, you can. Can you do it? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Is it detrimental to your muscle building? That's a £1 million question, because it depends on, say, for instance, someone like you as an ectomorph, if you start doing that too often, your muscle's going to love it in the beginning because it's something completely new. But like, say, if you do it too often, your body's thinking you're catabolic. I need a lot of, your body needs a lot of glycogen levels and a lot of power to move that skeleton. So if you start doing a lot of power, so like sprinting training, you're going to burn a lot of muscle, whether you like it or not. But that's if you do it very regularly. Do you know what I mean? So if you do it once a week, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, you will burn an amount of muscle, but how much of it, I'll be guessing. But I wouldn't do it very often. But one thing is, if you do it like special at this time of the year, just be careful, because obviously time of the year is cold, so make sure you're very well warmed, especially someone like you that you are a traditional ectomorph, so you're lean. So I would do it very small amounts, probably once every 2 weeks, something like that.
Right, okay.
But that works, that does work, that does acceleration. What it actually does, what Scott's saying really is about hill sprinting,
like fast twitch.
So what it does, those fibers are responsible for obviously power fibers. They're white fibers and they contract very quick. That's what sprinters do really. It's power training. But obviously when you say sprinting, I'm talking about like say 30 seconds, a minute maximum, because your body can sustain sprinting for a long period of time. Anyway, yeah, it does work. I wouldn't be able to answer how much of it. How much of it, in terms of how much of it does it burn? That means like £1 million.
Probably another £1 million question. Are you going to burn, if you're doing that, you're still going to burn fat before muscle?
No. This is a...
I was the opposite. Well, I said the same as you, and he didn't believe me.
No. I mean, you hear lots of things in magazines, but the first source of aerobic exercise is fat. There's no two ways about it. But once you accelerate 60% past your maximum heart rate, which is sprinting is way past your 60% of maximum heart rate. It is muscle. Because what it does, it burns glycogen initially, because obviously it's, I mean, if you actually study the actual science behind rapid movements, it's it's glycogen levels, and then obviously it goes into your muscle. But obviously if you don't do it too often, obviously it will burn an amount of fat as well, but not a great amount. So I think the biggest thing,
if you enjoy it.
No, yeah, it is. But the biggest thing is, what you got to realise is, and now just to give you a bit of something to think about, Scott might be right in this aspect in terms of kick-starting fat burning. But what it does is after the training session. So because what happens is after the training session, because you recruit a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, your metabolism goes through the roof. So that's why a lot of people
just feed it then.
Yeah, that is good, but I could not. But I wouldn't do that. If you just want to burn body fat, someone like yourself, do uphill walking is the best thing you can do. Yeah, it's the best thing you can do. But like, and I do it myself.
So in terms of another kind of side question of that then. In terms of yeah, I'm right words. In terms of like getting anabolic strength speed, better off just squatting, deadlift, lunges. Yeah, better off just strength training.
The best thing. This is the thing. If you guys want to grow, imagine joints, right? It's all about multi-joint exercises. Like say, if you're doing squatting, you're working on your core, you're working on your hip joints, you're working on knees, ankles, so everything's moving. So imagine the amount of muscles. I mean, people don't realize. People look at a leg and go, "There's a leg," but there's that many muscle tissue there.
So
it's unbelievable.
Deadlift, for example, for Scott's sport-specific training, we did yesterday 6 reps on one. He did 150. I did on 170. If it's sport-specific training, would it be better off doing 120 for 12 reps and then boom, explode and slow down? Or would it be better off doing the heavyweight?
So if it's this is what you got to think. What does it mean? What's sport specific? Is it sport specific bodybuilding?
Just
sport specific, say rugby. Rugby is a sport specific, but it's a completely different level to powerlifting. So it depends what I mean. If it's rugby, it's got to be functional, because rugby players move out of that into a different direction, don't they? So if it's like say powerlifting, then obviously it's sport specific. Then you're working straight lines. It's all straight lines, isn't it?
Okay,
You're not picking a bar and running with a bar down the road.
It's not CrossFit.
So it's not CrossFit. So you got to be so. This is why I mean I love having this conversation with these guys, because in magazines say, for example, you open a magazine, you'll say, "Oh, become a stronger, fitter version of yourself if you do this," and we'll go, "Yeah, I see what you mean. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
One size fits all." But they're not seeing the rugby player, they're not seeing the footballer, they're not seeing the powerlifter, they're not seeing the bodybuilder, they're not seeing these guys that want to look strong, that want to look powerful, that want to look aesthetic pleasing, that want to look super strong. So the list goes on and on. So it's kind of like the best thing to do is make sure you get the right knowledge for what you really want now, and then make sure you have stages as well. Because everyone, let's say, I'm sure what you want right now is not what you want in May. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be different. But make sure the diet and the training matches what you want right now.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, because otherwise you might be doing something completely different to what the person's out there recommending you to do. That's why I think I'm not just blowing my own trumpet here. That's why it's one of my main keys that I give my clients. Always match what they want now. Because at the end of the day, it's what they want now, do you know what I mean? Because you might see someone that all they want is lose a couple of pounds. So they don't need to be doing anything silly, do you know what I mean? Just see what I mean? Because a lot of people like misconcept what really want to look, because not everyone wants to look like you.
No.
Not everyone wants to look like you. Not everyone wants to look like me. Everyone has got a different idea to what you want to do, and I think that's a really key sort of factor in order to become a stronger version of yourself. Yeah. Any more questions?
No worry on it. Or a giant chest. But it's up to you.
Yeah.
On a giant chest.
No problem at all. So guys, thank you so much. Obviously you know where to find us on Carlos Instagram. He loves these signs, man. He loves it. On Instagram, Carlos Trainer 10, and also on YouTube, Carlos Trainer. So with all that said, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit. Take care. Bye.